Hello friends, today we are going to do vulnerability assessment using different tools in different operating systems. For first tool, we are using Kali Linux. To download and install Kali Linux, we go to its official website. There is default username and password, that is root and tool. According to our configuration, we have to download the setup for Kali Linux. After downloading the file, we have to extract from it. So this is the file which we want in our installation in VirtualBox. Click on new and give credentials, give information about your operating system. As we have 64-bit configuration, so we select 64 Debian and then give memory or give RAM. And for hard disk, we have to use the same file which we have downloaded and extracted. So for that, we have to add that files within this. Kali Linux machine is created, so we have to run that machine. For first time it will take times as it has to boot up from the memory and do some installation part. Put same username that is defaultly given on website, that is root, and put the same password that is tour and sign in. So that is the Kali Linux successfully installed in our VirtualBox. Next we have to install our vulnerability assessment tool, that is OpenVAS. So for that we have to go to the source list file to check the repository files. So for this, put that command and you directly go to the source list file. So in that there is no repository file, so we have to add required repository files, that is. So we are going to the official website of Kali. With this we found documentation and we can simply search for it, that is a repository. There are two types of files which we needed for the installation part of OpenVAS. So that first is regular repositories. So copy that instruction. So the copied part should be pasted in that source list file. Basically, those repository files is a collection of software hosted on a remote server and intended to be used in installing and software packages on Linux systems. So that's why we use those files, and now we use also do same with the source repositories, copy and paste. This is the part we pasted, and now we have to write out. So check the option to write out, that is O. So press Ctrl plus O, and now enter to write it in the source list file. Okay, now simply exit and do the other parts. That is Control X. As we add some parts into the Kali, so we have to update our machine. So every time if you add anything, you can update with apt-get update. So now we are ready with everything, and directly put the command, that is apt-get install OpenVAS. It is used for install OpenVAS. Yes, you can give him the affirmation by putting Y. This may take some time. Now we have to set up our OpenVAS. So for this, we have a command, that is OpenVAS setup. It will take up to 15 to 20 minutes depending upon your machine configuration. Automatically it opens the browser, and that is the local host, and it gives some risk, but we have to accept that risk and continue. Put username, that is default username is admin, and the password is given in the setup part. So this is this. I paste it here and log in. So to do this project, we need the target as a XAMPP server. So for that, we have to start our XAMPP server. First of To start scan, you have to follow the 3 steps. The first is to make credentials for the scan. Username is same, that is for admin, root and tour. So here is our credential is created. Now on the second part we have to create target. Now target is created. The last is to create task. Basically in task we have to give this target which we made earlier. We are done with the three basic parts, and now the task is ready. We have to launch scan the to scan our target. That is our answer. Here are the outcomes of our target of our scan, and this is our findings. And there are results, that is 19. Okay, let's see. There is one vulnerability, that is report outdated and end of life scan engine. So this is the vulnerability summary, and it is of highest severity. It will also provide us the solution for that assessment. Gives us the detail to read out what is the assessment, what is the vulnerability, and how to absolute it. There are more vulnerabilities like mixed services. There is a vulnerability, that is SSL, TLS, collect and certification detail reports. There is always issues regarding certificate or validation or anything. This is the complete report of our vulnerability assessment. We are going to do vulnerability assessment with the second tool. So for that we want different operating system. We are going to download CentOS operating system. Basically we are going to do ISO file. To download ISO file, here it is. Here is the file. So for that we again going to the new in VirtualBox, and we giving some credentials for CentOS. So provide the RAM, that, we have to create a disk, virtual hard disk. Please assign a large space because that operating system needs much larger space as compared to Linux. For that, we have to go down in settings. Basically, in storage, we have to add that file which we have downloaded. Now run our machine and set up our CentOS operating system. Now we are going to install CentOS, and there is some issue in installation destination. So we create a hard disk of 40 GB. So select that as a local disk and begin installation. Now we have to set up that root password and user. Put any password which you want. It's your choice. And create a user. Yes, after completing the process, we have to reboot our machine. And then again we have to go to CentOS settings and we have to change boot order from optical to uncheck. Now start the machine and so we have to accept the license and accept it and finish configuration. So that is the same user that we created earlier, and put the password you choose. We're done with the CentOS installation part. Now for the vulnerability assessment, we are going to use Nessus. For the second tool, we are having same target, that is XAMPP server. To install Nessus, first of all we have to download the Nessus part, Nessus setup. For that we have to go its official website, that is tenable.com. So choose that according to your operating system and machine. So as we are installing Nessus in CentOS as a 64-bit machine, and our CentOS is CentOS 8, so we are going to download that version of Nessus. Please agree with license and save the file. Now the setup is downloaded. For installation part, we have to go to the terminal. We are just checking the file, downloaded file. Before installation, we have to go in sudo mode. We are doing updation of packages by yum by update, and now we are going to install some libraries which are required for installation part. To install, we have to use that command, that is rpm/ibh in the name of Nessus. To start Nessus, there is a command that is shown in the terminal. You have to copy paste that. So Nessus is start, and the web browser is open by default as earlier. So again we have to accept the risk and continue. Now configure our Nessus. We are using Nessus Essential because it is for free and it is for as it is for students. So give your credentials and initialize the Nessus. Okay, there is activation code which we received from our email. After that, username and password. So it will initialize and configure your Nessus. So this is the home screen of Nessus. So to start scanning, we have to create a scan, and after that we want just basic vulnerable network scan. So in that, give the information regarding our target. That is the most important thing. That is, you have to give IP of your target. That is XAMPP server's IP. So our target is created, and we have to launch our scan. So it will take 10 to 30 minutes, but I fast forward it, and so we can see the report, what we find in our scan. So we find number of vulnerabilities in our network on our server. The first is SSL validation. In Nessus, there is large description and there is association. So you can check the description of vulnerability and see the vulnerability, how it will affect your system. So by doing these scans, we are keen to know about the vulnerabilities. Both tools gives us the vulnerability. Thank you.